3, 2,
Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to the show. What are we at? Episode 15. I think I got that right this time. This will be the first time I got that right. If you're joining us live, say what's up. Right, this is the live show where business owners get together and have a real talk about business in a real way with real business owners. So, welcome. Thanks everyone who has been tuning in. We've got a bit of a following now, right? And the inbox is starting to get busy, which is good. Oh, busier, I should say. We're not inundated. I don't want to, front or fake. Like, we're getting thousands of anything. Yeah, but we appreciate you tuning in, but even more than that, I think our priority is that we hope that you're getting value from this, right? Again, I have this theory that real business owners getting together regularly, talking about real business, is just super, super valuable, right? Because as business owners, 9 times out of 10, we feel pretty isolated and pretty alone. So that can help break that, as well as, man, I don't know what I don't know. Could I be doing things better? Man, there's all this bullcrap on the internet. One person says this, another person says that. The overwhelm, the isolation. Yeah. So I hope this helps scratch those itches. So tonight's show, we're talking about finances, right? So the most interesting topic when it comes to business, nothing to do with spreadsheets at all, or numbers, or lots of, frontal lobe, logical kind of number crunching kind of stuff. But yeah, so we're talking about that, finances, accounting, and KPIs. And what we'll say is, this is obviously a very deep topic. People literally go and study this for years and years and years. But again, it's just from a practical and a strategic level. We're not going to get too technical with how do I code this, or which bucket, or what's a debit and a credit. That's all kind of, I think, 101 stuff. You should be able to find that stuff on YouTube. And we're going to keep things around strategic and practical in terms of what do I need to know to use finances effectively to run my business, because I'm about my product or my service, right? Being a great plumber, making great cakes, making great software, delivering a great customer experience, whatever that might be. But we need to respect finance. Yeah, so welcome to the show. I'm going to go do some sharing, and Nick's going to say what's up.
Just your page and your personal, and we're good. Good evening. What's up, everybody? Yeah, really excited to be back on another Tuesday night. I'm sorry if John put you to sleep there with his intro, but
my bad.
He's that
guy.
Yeah,
feeling pretty monotone tonight.
Just keep your intro short, sharp, hit it on the point, and just waffle.
That was 2 minutes.
Got to give him a bit of heat. Got to give him a bit of shade to start the show. So yeah, tonight, finances, accounting, and KPIs. Really, really cool. And we've had a couple of questions come through already from the group, so we're going to hit that. I kind of want to frame the conversation up tonight. Humans, we communicate really, really well in words and emotions. So the way things work is we feel things, and then we express the way we feel. The thing is that business doesn't really give a fuck about your emotions, but business is really good at communicating in numbers. So there's a bit of a disconnect in terms of the language that we use to the language that business uses. So the strategy and the thinking with tonight's talk is around helping you to start knowing when you need to get into the numbers and that kind of a language within your business, and then knowing how to translate that back to how you're feeling and how you communicate to your team, to your supply partners, to your customers, and so on and so forth. I know for me personally, there were times where I would get stressed in business and due to not understanding my numbers so well. And then the communication would come back, me being in an emotional state, and it wouldn't be a good state to get things done. So that's kind of a little bit of a framework for tonight. As I say, we're going to really focus on the high level understanding of what you need to know, but also how it applies to your business. So over to you, John. Let's go, bruv. You good? Or are you still going? My bad.
Did you just give me a burn for having a long, boring intro and then do a long, boring?
No, it was definitely less than 2 minutes of waffle, which yours was over 2 minutes.
So. Dude, yours was nearly 3. Yours was like nearly 3. Anyways.
What's up with your internet tonight?
Okay, what oh, no, that's just me moving the screen around.
Yeah. Yeah, so finances, accounting, and KPIs.
Yeah,
How
okay.
do you
Throw it
want to
to the
frame up
audience
this?
first, right?
Yeah, of course.
What
Yeah.
do you guys want to know about finance? What's your experience with, finance? Is it something like you don't do? You avoid it like the plague? You're all up in it. What are some of the lessons that you've learned around finance? The hard way, like Nick. And look, probably throw to you, man. That's probably my first question. What was it like? What did you feel like, or what did you think like when you ran the business and you didn't pay close attention to the financials, the balance sheet, the P&L, the cash flow forecast, and then all the kind of ratios that kind of drop out of those statements? And then what was it like when you started to, or maybe what caused you to start looking at the financials more strategically or responsibly? And then what was that experience like before and
Yeah,
after, right?
yeah, it's a real interesting one because we grew so fast, man. We went from literally a one-man band to full-time staff and over $1 million in revenue in the space of like 9 months. And when you're
Wow.
growing like that, there's a real, I mean, obviously there's a lot of money flowing through the business, and you're investing into equipment, people, systems, all this kind of stuff. So you kind of, I was flying by the seat of my pants, and it was pretty exciting. It was kind of more when we started to, I guess, try to get some a little bit more consistency and structure and start to mature the business, was when the disconnect happened, that we were because we weren't monitoring it as we were growing. It certainly left us short of capital, and then when we needed to put things in infrastructure, we just didn't have the capital available there. And we'll talk a little bit more about financing and stuff down the track, because there certainly is some good ways to do financing. There's some bad ways to do some financing. So does that give you a bit of a perspective?
Yeah. Nah, that's awesome.
Yeah, nah, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's great, right? And I think that's consistent with
yeah.
probably what I'll say about it. Hey, Daniel Sutton. Hey, Polly. Nice to see you. Hey, Mia. How's it all going? Talking about finance today. So yeah, jump into the convo. Look, I think what I'll say about finance, I'll probably answer it, and man, I like doing this, don't I?
Okay,
Why?
bro, that's quite offensive when you do it this way.
No, how?
You did that
No,
in your
that's like a
video the other
number.
day, bro. This
I
way,
know. Oh, okay,
this
cool.
way.
All right. Okay, cool.
It's
Why? What?
actually a bit of you that way.
Who? Oh, like that. So why is finance important to a small business owner, right? If we're talking to small business owners, and I guess, man, I'm interested in what you're going to say about this, because I think people don't realize or remember, right, that everything you do in your business, whether it's strategy or great customer service or great sales or great marketing or whatever, it lands on the profit and loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it'll land on the balance sheet. I think if you're in business long enough and you're doing a good enough job, but it'll land on the profit and loss, and so your
Well, it
profit and
lands
loss
there
is.
regardless, John. Even if you're doing a bad job, it just lands in the wrong place.
Yeah, yeah, true. And oh yeah, I like that too, right? So anyway, I think we need to know why, right? And why is because, man, that's telling you how you're going, right?
Yeah.
And it tells you where you should be focusing. And without reading that, it's like you're just guessing, right? And don't get me wrong, some people are really great at guessing and they can fly blind for some time. But then other people crash into mountains that they didn't see coming, when if they looked at their
Mm-hmm.
data and their dashboard and stuff, so they would have kind of seen it. Is there anything you'd add to that in terms of why we should, as small business owners, be monitoring our finances more closely?
Yeah. Well, I think it's as I framed the topic up at the start, it's really about understanding that business speaks in different languages to humans. So if we're not understanding the language of business, at some point it's going to catch up with you. And like you say, if you're doing really, really well, it's going to show on your balance sheet. But particularly if you're in a business where you're high volume, low margin, and you're not really aware of you break even, your cogs, that kind of stuff, it's quite easily to slip into a track of trading sideways. And even though you might have revenue, you're kind of just going sideways, and And as things go on and things start to age in your business, eventually you're going to start slipping down, you know. So I guess to answer your question around what's important to understand in finances, I think it's first and foremost, it's important to understand the difference between cash and profit, cash flow and profit, because you can have a profitable month and have no cash in the bank, or you can have a you can have a high cash flow business that makes no profit and still end up with no cash in the bank, even though you've got a lot of cash flow. And one of the greatest sayings that any business will attest to, anyone that's been in business for a while, you know, revenue is vanity and profit is sanity. And it's so critical to understand the difference. Yeah.
Yep, strongly agree. Right. And we can talk about this. I don't know what.
I was going to ask you a question, you know, with, you know, you spend a lot of time coaching businesses. Typically, what are some of the things that you just see popping up that these small businesses neglect, are missing, take for granted, whatever? What are the common themes around the topic of finances and accounting?
Yeah, okay. So you're going to jump to that second thing that I was going to answer, right? So we talked about why finance is important, and then we're moving into the next one, which is what.
Yep.
And you know, what are some of the mistakes that we see? I mean, shit, this list goes on and on and on. So I'll grab what I can off the top of my head. First thing is, I in my experience, I think it might even be higher than that, 90%. And you know, I'm only working in New Zealand, right? So I've dealt with, I don't know, yeah, we're in the hundreds easily of kind of small business owners in New Zealand, and you know, that's a significant sample size, I think, right? Which is what I was saying there, and 90% of them don't have a cash flow forecast, right? I think probably like 60% of them don't really understand what a cash flow forecast is. You know, I think, and that's the biggest mistake. And so it's just a strategic understanding, right? You don't necessarily need to know. And so, yeah, I love that Polly, by the way, who's tuned in live, is saying, getting a good bookkeeper changed my life, right? And it's so true, man. And it's like, if you're, man, probably not the right thing, but if you're washing the dishes all day instead of doing the marketing or doing the product or the service or doing the selling, there's a big problem there. And so, yeah, me doing my books saves me money. It's like, what kind of serious business are you going to have when you're worried about spending, you know, $50 a week? You know, if that on a bookkeeper, you know, who's better at it than you and does a better job than you. So, yeah, the first thing is not having a strategic understanding of finance. I think there's 3 levels to it. You got your kind of capital level, your assets and liabilities at your balance sheet. Then you got the profit and loss. And as you say, right, profit is not always cash in the bank. And I think that's the problem. We tend to think, oh, the balance sheet is important, but it's not, if I'm honest, right? If you're under $1 million a year, the balance sheet is not that important. If you're not heavily asset reliant or even...
Sorry, I got dogs under my feet.
Oh, so lovely to the dog. You know, if you're not asset really dependent, you know, obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but generally kind of speaking, at a small business under $1 million, you don't need to manage the balance sheet too much. Maybe even once a year, that should be fine. Give it a good review. P&L, that's on a monthly/quarterly kind of basis. That's something that you need to keep an eye on. But the thing you really want to know at under $1 million is because you've got so much cash flowing in and out, right, in the form of gross revenue and expenses, direct and indirect, COGS, etc. I just saw Daniel's comment and it's distracted me. But that's where we need to be monitoring our business. It's a cash thing. Yeah, it's a cash thing. It's a cash thing, right? And so that's the thing I think people don't understand. And cash is king. You know, profit is vanity, cash is sanity, or something like that.
Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity.
Oh, right. But now I'll take that even further and say profit is just vanity. What if I'm a service-based business? I've invoiced out $100,000 in 1 month.
Sure, but you haven't collected because you've got bad payers and you haven't got a strategy for you know, you haven't got any terms of trade, you don't take deposits, and right.
So cash flow.
Really,
and these are cash flow tactics of how you can improve cash flow. And right? Did I sell it right? Did I market it right?
Really echoes it there, right?
Yeah, 100 million%.
Just really echoes it. Exactly right, brother. Exactly right.
And from what I know about Ruben, he's startup orientated too, because Runway is a startup term, right? But yeah, and that's the thing. I think you know, there's a lot of similarities between a startup and a small business. Arguably, they're the same thing. Man, look at these comments. I can't keep up. Right. So, what are some other common mistakes? Yeah, not getting a bookkeeper. So, not having a strategy around finance. And the strategy around finance is to have timely and accurate information.
Yep.
Right. You've got to have timely and accurate. That's pretty much it. If you're doing those two
things,
things,
going to lead well into our KPI segue at the end there too, right?
Right. And so you've got to have timely and accurate information. But to do that, you probably need someone who knows some shit about that topic. So get a goddamn accountant. If you can't get an accountant, shit, are we really in a business? Right. And if you can't get one because, hey, my business is really early stage, and I get that, but aim to get one into the future. In the very near future, as quickly as you can. And then, don't do the bookkeeping. You should be doing the selling or delivering the product or the service.
Yeah, I just want to add on that too. Like if you're in that startup and you're still doing your market validation, is this actually a viable business? Fucking go and talk to an accountant. This is what I want to do. What do you think from an accounting perspective are some of the things I'm going to need to be aware of with this industry, with this type of business model? Because if you don't really understand your business model, how you're adding value to the marketplace and then receiving that value, and then how you're redistributing that within your business, you're really going to be you're fucked, to put it lightly. And it will catch up with you. It may be weeks or it could be years down the track. Yeah.
Strongly agree. I don't like to put too much fear into people around, years, because again, finance is this thing that we just don't talk about. I don't know. It's like how dudes don't talk about, I don't know, something anyway, but man, I'm trying to find a PC analogy. But there's just some things
I've just gone and dropped the F-bombs, mate, so we're good.
But there's just some things that business owners don't talk about, man, and that's one of them, man. And it's a real. I know it's basic stuff, man, but we need to know this stuff. I love Ruben's comments, mate. I love you chiming in with some value, and again, from what I remember about your background, so these are some good KPIs, mate. Days to zero, or how many days before I need to be profitable or raise, right? We call that days to zero. And what's your burn rate? Which are all good KPIs, right? And so I think I'm going to hit Daniel's question actually. So how far should I be forecasting into the future, months, years? It depends on your stage of business, but right, kind of once you're in the four figures, right, you got a bit of momentum. Your goal is to forecast out 90 days.
Yeah.
Right? And there's the other thing too.
90 days is a good period.
But
right?
in saying that, your campaigns, your marketing campaigns, your whole business should be running on 90-day rhythms. Right, and you want to get there as quickly as you can, right? Because then, I run 90-day marketing campaigns. I run 90-day trials with my team members, right? That I might bring on for those campaigns. We run 90-day product trials. We run 90-day, everything, mate. And that's a good runway, as Ruben puts it, to kind of have, right? And then, if you have to pivot or adapt, during that, you've got enough runway. Right, but to have 90 days, again, if you're striving to be $1 million business, shit, you need to see 300K in front of you. So it's not an easy feat.
I'm just going to put this comment up because it kind of echoes what I said there. As a bookkeeper, a key issue that I come across is people not having any method of tracking their finances. If only business owners would start with an accounting system. If you have a business, you need a system. Now, that's exactly what I was talking about before, John. I wasn't trying to come from a space of fear, but it's more of a, most of us, when we're new to business, we actually don't understand business yet. So if we're like, I'm going to collect all my receipts up in a bloody shoebox and I'm going to, run an Excel sheet and then give it to my accountant, in 6 months' time, it's too late. If you would have just invested $1,000 to get your stuff set up from the start and have them train you the basics of entering your invoices yourself, and that's not a forever thing, but that's why you're in that real early phase. By the time you do start to grow, and there's free apps. It doesn't have to be Xero, but you can get Xero for $5 anyway. So why wouldn't you?
I'll plug Xero, mate. I'll plug Xero. Like MyOb's good, but Xero is the shit.
Xero is the business, mate, and
it is.
But that small investment at the early on, $1,000 is it's arbitrary. If you're serious about growing a business, down the track, it's going to make it so much easier. But that was awesome segue. But the point I wanted to bring was actually around finances, John, and around capital expenditure, and then actually using other people's money, financing.
Financing, right? Yeah, that's what you're talking
Right.
about. Okay, cool. Hey, can I
Well,
just throw out
both.
to Donna,
Yeah.
because that comment was Donna's, and I love. Thank you, Donna.
Oh, it
Thank
was
you for
Donna. Yeah.
sharing.
Okay, cool.
As a real life bookkeeper, you guys are so valuable. People really underestimate it, and you guys are only like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Donna, but $50 to $100 an hour, and that's nothing compared to what you guys do, the amount of money and time and stress you can save us as small business owners. Yeah, everyone. Look, yeah, I'd go as far to say, look, 90% of small business owners should have a bookkeeper. And then Glenn Marvin's got a comment on here too. What's up, Glenn?
Hey, Glenn, good to see you, mate. Yeah, so I think so capital expenditure. So capex as one of these ones that as your business starts to grow, and I know Daniel, he's in a kind of like a manufacturing type business, and he's not ready yet, but at some stage it's going to be looking at doing some capex. So I wanted to talk around different strategies for bringing that into the business. So obviously you can go with a financing option, so you go to a lender, but there's a cost to that, and the cost is obviously you're going to pay interest on the money. The other other ways to do it are similar to where where you used to be with the Ice House, John. Getting equity partners that bring capital, but they also bring smarts, right? They bring brains, and that's kind of what I guess you'd call smart money. But I think it's important that when we understand that that's what we want to do, we want to grow the business by bringing in new equipment or having capex. It's important that we understand how that is going to affect our accounting and our balance sheet. Which is where we needed to have gone to our bookkeeper in the first place and said, look, at this point, we're going to spend money. We're going to buy a new piece of equipment that's going to allow us to make widgets twice as fast, but it's going to cost us X amount. How does all of that affect the rest of our business from a pricing, marketing, all of those things? Bit of a rant, but that's what I wanted to hit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, hit it. We should grab some of these comments too, and then we also got some questions
Bro.
that we want to hit. So yeah, you hit that, bro. I mean, good topic. Good. Yeah, good topic.
So Ruben's just chucked up there.
Did you answer? Okay, cool. You did it.
That was my point. That was my point.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I was like, yeah, good point. I like Blendon's comment. You the man, Blendon. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, Ruben, go.
Okay, so I agree. There's an unspoken stigma refinance in the nature thereof. So I don't think it's healthy. But I've found it useful if I use it to sidestep the subject by talking about it in terms of preserving your ability to operate. The longer your runway is, the greater your individual agency and optionality. So I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before about how most business owners are just head in the sand when it comes around the financial side of their business. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree, because there were some big words in there that I maybe fly over my head, so I'll just agree.
He's a tech guy, mate. You can tell he's a tech guy.
Yeah, no. Sorry, look, I know of Ruben, and I've seen some stuff. Right. Man, he's active. I think he was over in Silicon Valley. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ruben. He was over he did some time, well, maybe in New York anyway, on the startup scene. So he's, you're really grunty from what I can remember, mate. So thanks for chiming in. Thanks for sharing your knowledge, insight, wisdom, and perspective for the tuners inners. Yep, but I agree. Don't have your head in sand.
If you are watching and you want us to chuck your comments up, if you give StreamYard a like or however that works, then we can actually put your name up with it. But otherwise, if you make a comment and you don't want to do that, just chuck your name at the end of the comment so we know who we're responding to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, mate. Hey, look, I'm gonna jam on something. Well, do you want to?
Do you want me to put one up?
Comments,
or have you got a point?
Oh, do you want to? Yeah, you just queue on some comments. Yeah, I'll just jam on something while you're doing that. Right. So we covered the why, we covered the what, we covered the who. Right, which is get an accountant, get a bookkeeper. Don't do that shit yourself, and actually get your financial education from your goddamn accountant. I don't know, that small hack. Some of us are so much missing out on that. Get a good accountant. The better the accountant, the better, right? You should be paying, I think in New Zealand, somewhere between, I don't know, 1,500 for like rat shit. Probably up to like, $6,000, depending on the size of your business and the complexity.
On the scale of the business, yeah.
Right, but generally, I'm going to give a general kind of thing. And let me just say, right, like we speak generally here because we're trying to cover and be applicable as well as practical to as many listeners as we can, right, in their small businesses. Yeah, but if you're paying $6,000 for your accountant a year, you got a unique situation, right? But most of us, probably 80% of us small business owners, we should be able to play, somewhere between 1,500 and I think $3,500, right? So if you're landing on $2,500,
that goes up to about a 2 to 3 million in revenue type business. And anything over that,
that's what I think.
Generally speaking, then you're going to start to see bigger fees and bigger.
I generally kind of think that, no, yeah, 1 point, yeah, over a mil, it starts to get varied because how many shareholders, how many transactions,
right?
What kind of governance do you have? Yeah, no, but okay, but definitely up to $1 million anyway. Yeah, and probably up to $3 million. You could get away with it up to $3 million if you've got a nice simple business.
Depending on the industry and the delivery and all that. I get it. Yeah.
So the point was, get a good accountant, right? And you should be paying $2,500. It's like $200 a month, right? And dude, for $200 a month, yeah, you might have to pay some extra for some time and stuff like that. But dude, you've got one of the best financial advisors, and you've got a practical case study that you're actually working on, right? So it's great in terms of raising.
Now do that as startup packages too. When you go and see them to get set up,
they have to, bro, because Xero took away all the compliancy, transactional kind of processing work, right? So they got to be strategic.
Oh, bro, I love this one. This is really good.
Okay, go. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me finish my. So what I was going to say is, get an accountant, use them, and use the bookkeeper too. Another hack, right? And we'll just throw to Glenn Marvin. Glenn Marvin, by the way, man, great around. I think. Sorry, Glenn, I'm going to get this wrong, but teaching you how to do it yourself marketing, right? And really, really affordable, really, really accessible. So hit up Glenn Marvin, and he said get all over your debtors, right? And especially if you're a service invoice based kind of business, you need to stay on top of debtors, right? I think we're going to come to that, right? Maybe in closing words in terms of things like, so when we do a financial check-in with my clients, which is at least once a month, there's kind of 5 key questions that we ask, right? And they should get the finances kind of back on track. When have a rhythm around your finances, and then how, we're kind of talking about how. Okay, cool. Off to you, bro.
Cool. So I'm not sure who the user was. I can't see the comment. Maybe you can, but it says it ain't easy finding a good accountant. Let's hear some hacks to find some solid ones. So for starters,
Blandon Liang.
Cool.
That's
right, Blandon. So for
and
starters,
he said, we're making finance gangster.
Cool. Well, I'll take
finance.
Finance
up. Ooh, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, bro. Gangs. You're so white.
I am. White. I am.
Finance. What?
I was listening. I was at the gym the other day.
Blasian.
We were listening to
Application.
Regulators. And so the coach says to the gym, oh, who knows who this is? And one of the millennials, she pops these up. She goes,
Regulator.
Is it Bone Thugs? Like, oh no, it's not.
Hey, wait, millennials starts at like 1981 or something like that, dude?
No, bro, they're like.
Oh, you talk Gen Z? We're like under 20.
Yeah, young ones.
Oh no, Google it. Anyways, I just wanted to fuck your train of thought up on your little joke.
Finding a gangster accountant. Okay, for starters, if you're in my Facebook group, there's a whole thread of accountants in there. Go in there and see who's recommended, and then freaking interview them, man. Spend some time talking to a couple of them. Say, look, this is the business that I'm in. What experience do you have in this area of business? This is what I'm hoping to do. This is my intention. What can you as being my accountant advisor, what value do you bring to me? And there's some freaking really sharp people out there in the accounting space. There's also some that are really, really not so sharp. So I think it is those types of questions. Hey, look, I want to have a relationship with someone who can help me to grow my business over the coming years. Tell me about some businesses you've worked with that are similar to mine and how you've helped them. Great questions to ask. You got any tips? You got any points on that one?
Yeah, look, ask a friend. That generally helps, right? Which is why word of mouth marketing is still the most powerful type of marketing, and always will be, unless AI gets really good at it. But anyway, Ruben's comments distracting me. But yeah, Blandon, ask a friend. But that group, I don't know if you're in the group, Blandon. Oh yeah, you must be. Yeah, you must be. So ask in the group, right? But what I will say is when you're asking the group, not looking for recommendations. Anyone know an accountant in West Auckland
or there first and see who's right?
Yeah, do a search for it. But you know what? What's been working really well for me is just trying to do a post about what I'm looking for. Right. So as an example, as a business coach, be specific, bro. So take the time. What do you think you want? Right. And yeah, if the answer is looking for an actual real accountant that actually speaks real language, that will help me grow my toothbrush business, my cake business, my software company, my SaaS product, whatever, say that. And the tone of that is just real straight up. And then we're going to try and get you, people are going to try and refer you to a great accountant. And then the other thing I'll say is a little bit of trial and error, man. But manage that shit. And so this is what I think another mistake that small business owners make. And I love Ruben's comment. Small business startup, same goddamn thing, right?
Yeah.
Don't go and get funding. Look, and I don't know where you sit on this one, Ruben, man, but man, all these dudes that want to build a pitch, they think setting up a LinkedIn profile, calling themselves CEO and co-founder and having a pitch deck makes them a goddamn business owner, man. And I'm like, dude, no, you're a dude with an idea and a pitch deck, man. Have fun with that, but don't do it too much because you might go blind. But go and get revenue. That should be your thing, right? Whether you're a startup, you got that one. Whether you're a startup or because you're playing with yourself. You like that one? You're just playing with yourself. You're in your pitch deck, and you're gonna get 1% of the Chinese market and sell it to Amazon or Facebook or sell it for $1 billion. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, it's not. And I love what he's saying. It's sensationalized, right? And so that's what I learned my time at the Ice House too, Ruben. Which is kind of why I have this approach to kind of business, man. It's like I've seen sensational, man. So don't try and fluff things up. It's real straightforward. He said all the great business is boring. Anyway, coming back to the accounting kind of thing. Manage that shit. One thing I think people make a mistake of, whether they're the accountant, the lawyer, a contractor, a part-timer, an intern, dude, they're part of the team, right? And we know that the future of your business is built on how it performs today. And your team are how it performs. They are very, very, very important, man. So the accountant's not someone you try and avoid, like the dentist, like, I have to call them once a month and I'll try and avoid that and I'll forget anyway. Dude, stay on their ass.
Yeah, hard.
Learn strategic finance. If you want to get to $1 million a year business, man, you better start learning some shit from them. And if you're not happy that you don't like them, you can't understand them, they don't talk your language, move on.
I'm going to fire this one up here because it's a real good complimentary comment. So a lot of business owners don't realize a great business work with both an accountant and a bookkeeper. And let's just rewind back to that starting out thing we were talking about before. Frick, man,
the who. That was the who pillar.
Right, exactly. Go back and meet your accountant and find, as you start to grow, bookkeeping ain't, unless you're a bookkeeper, bookkeeping ain't worth your time. So you got to know when at some point, and we had this on our mastermind.
And you're not good at it, and you're going to fuck it up.
We had this with Tim. I'm not sure if Tim's on tonight, but we had a chat with him last night, and there's some admin stuff that he's doing that he's just not good at, and it's not worth his time. You can start with an hour a week, an hour a day, whatever it means. You can bring someone in on a contractual basis to take that stress off you so you can focus on delivering, like Jung said earlier. So whoever made that comment, just want to say thanks very much for that.
Oh, was it? I think I can see some of their names, mate. Yeah, look.
So, bruv, I want to touch KPIs. I want to touch KPIs a little bit. And then we'll shift to wrapping up, I think.
Yeah, we didn't hit those questions, but yeah, okay, cool. KPIs. Oh, look, I'll give you some questions that I asked my question. Yeah, and John's question. KPIs that I come across, right?
Well, his question was about KPIs anyway, so his was specifically.
His question was more around what do you want from
your accountant. Let's touch that because we'll finish out accounting on this. I think it's a great question.
Okay, you want to go? You go first.
You've got something you want to slay it down on.
What will I say? KPIs that you want from your accountant. Look, so yeah, I don't know. A lot of people talk about break-even point. I don't really. Break-even point to me, I'd be interested in your thoughts on this, Ruben. But break-even point to me is just some point in the future. I don't really use it to drive things. I like runway, but I kind of come from a startup background, so I look at runway, like how much cash do we have in the bank, and then I guess sales or cash are we going to have, kind of, and ideally kind of moving out towards 90 days. So I'm personally, and I'm totally open to being challenged on that. But I pretty much just look at basic net profit, right? What's gross revenue? What's total expenses? And what net profit are you dropping out, right? And then if you've got cash problems, but you've got net profit is positive, then obviously we've got some payment terms or cash flow management things that we need to implement, right? Like, are you guys paying a deposit? What is there penalties on missing payments? Is my selling you know, when I'm bringing them on board, is that conducive to getting cash in the bank on date, on time, right? And so there's all these types of things. And again, the cash flow forecast is the goddamn dashboard that can help you drive your whole business, because it shows you where the problems are and you just track them back. So yeah,
What
look,
KPIs? So what KPIs are you
net
suggesting?
profit, bro. So you want the P&L and you want it monthly, if not, and then you want a cash flow
Weekly.
forecast and you want it weekly, right? Every Monday morning, you should be getting from your bookkeeper, you should be getting your cash flow forecast in your thing, 9 a.m. or whenever your Monday starts, or the first day of your week starts, you should be hitting that. Because it tells you
last week's sales figures and costs.
Right. And again, this is the difference between a cash flow report, which is data, which is typically historic, because it has to have happened for me to get it. Right. Whereas a cash flow forecast, and this is where I think a lot of accountants are boring, don't get me wrong, is they're trapped in the past. Yeah. Right. Just because of the nature of their job, right? Or their function to you as a client. And what I'll say is when we forecast out, right, yeah, we're grabbing some numbers out of the goddamn year. We're forecasting what a sale is going to be next week, and the month after that, and the month after that, and the month after that. Again, about 90 days out, to answer your question, Daniel. Right? We want to get out 90 days, but you want to be as smart as you can about it. And what I suggest is run the data, right? Run any trends that you do have of the past 6 months or even 12 months, and then run forward and go A, B, and C scenario, right? Best case scenario, worst case scenario, and then something in between. And we'll probably choose something in between. It's probably the kind of well-balanced kind of thing. So look, for me, it's P&L monthly, timely and accurate. That's what you want. And obviously you want total sales revenue, total expenses, direct and indirect, so COGS and all the other ones, and basic net profit, and then your cash flow forecast every week, right? And that'll tell you, shit, we need to move debtors around, you know. So yeah, that's going to affect our cash flows. Or cash is tight, right? Bank balance, shit, that's the other one. Like, dude, how many business owners don't know what their bank balance is?
Right.
Scary.
There's one I just want to give a little perspective from, particularly, obviously I've 20 plus years in retail. So I want a daily sales report in retail, or e-commerce.
Yeah,
I want to
fast moving, right?
My revenue
lots of transaction, high volume
on a daily basis,
yeah.
And I want a summary at the end of each period, each 7 days. I want a summary of what was sold. And ideally, I just want like a 3-line profit and loss: sales, COGS, profit, just on a high level, so that I can see that versus what my projections is, to know if I'm on target for budget for the month. And that's 20 years of being in retail, dealing with it. It is so important. So is there something you want me to put up on the screen there?
No, I was just having a scroll. Yeah, well, while I was really intensely listening to the value bombs that you were dropping.
You're so full of it,
No. You do it to me too. So, right, because we're Jamie, right? We're Joe Rogan's Jamie, right? You're Joe Rogan. I don't know who am I? I'm Mike Tyson.
Bro, I would fuck you up, man.
What?
I feel like if I'm Joe Rogan, you got to be someone way wussier.
I'm Bill. No, you're Bill. I'm Ted, man. Like, that's just how it goes, bro.
Which one's Beavis? Which one's Butthead? Someone in the comments.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't even know who Bill and Ted are. No, you're Bill. I'm Ted. Right? Dude, I've got reach on you. I've got weight on you. And I got experience on you. You ain't winning no fights over here.
You certainly got the lip, eh?
Shit, dude. I can't believe you just said that. What, shit. What is it like? Yeah, there's like a 5-inch height difference.
Oh, whatever.
Dude, how are you gonna?
Well, we're kind of segued into KPIs anyway, haven't we?
Go try and hit me. You're gonna just get that.
Come on, back on. We've got people watching, man. And we're stretching the time ahead, so I'm aware of that too.
I'm from South Auckland. You're from North, bro. No, you ain't got shit on. You ain't got shit on this. Okay, cool.
I'm in his head now. I win. I already won the game because I'm in your head.
I just fucking mind boggled by that. Anyways, and so we'll get industry specific, right? Industry specific. So, John, ask your accountant, right? This is a good test of your accountant. Ask your accountant what KPIs you should be watching, right? In a product-based business, you should be watching working capital. All right, in a services-based business, yeah, typically, depending on you're right, it depends on the transactions and things like that. But services-based business, you do want to be watching your margins, right? So your COGS. Um,
Yeah.
right. So it's industry specific, it's business specific, it's business model specific, and a good accountant will tell you that. And if you don't feel confident in that, move on.
There's a couple of KPIs that I want to talk to that probably aren't ones that accountants often will be too aware of, but KPIs around my number of leads to my number of sales presentations. So whether that's face to face, whether that's however that works for your business, to my number of conversions, which will then give me my number of sales. You can even take it out further and then go ASP, average sale price, and you can also frequency of sale on an annual basis. And when you have those five KPIs, you can really start to tweak the business by bringing one or two up, more leads in, or average sale price up, or yep.
Here's another thing, right? Were they super powerful? Because I get it, they're super powerful over at $1 million a year. Were they super powerful at $150,000 a year, 10,000 a month?
No, it didn't matter. Yeah, none of it mattered.
Right. And so that's the other thing. It depends on your
none of it mattered because it was just we got to sell more shit so we got more money, so we can grow.
Right. And if we think,
that's the hustle thing, right?
Yeah, 90% 89% of small businesses are under 3 employees.
Right. So I think that those KPIs are definitely for a business that's more at a phase of maturity. And I think the other one is your cost of acquisition and your cost of your marketing cost, what you spend for how many leads and how many leads convert. That's your cost of acquisition. So those KPIs for someone who's in a little bit more a mature business, really, really important.
Oh, strongly agree. Like if you want some other KPIs, right? It's cash flow forecast, which we talked about, gross profit margin as a percentage of sales, funnel drop off rate, revenue growth rate, inventory turnover, accounts payable turnover, accounts receivables turnover, and relative market share. Right. But again, I think they matter at scale. Yeah, age debtors, right? Which was accounts receivables. Yeah, accounts receivables turnover. Yeah, age debtors. Right, and you obviously they're under 90 days. If they're getting up around 60 days, there's something wrong.
Yeah. But let's put this last comment up from, it's quite a big one, from Ruben, and then we'll move
Polly, pay yourself first. Yeah.
Oh,
love you, Polly.
Yeah. Now we can't see either of us. But I just like this because he's basically saying, again, it's exactly what you're saying about burn rate, your weekly burn rate. How long are you going to stay in business for? And it's your bookkeeper's jobs. Yeah.
If you're under $1 million, that's what you should be measuring, mate. That's the thing for you. Right, and cash flow forecasting is one way to measure that.
So, but
you still got the same profile pic, Ruben, from like 3 years ago. He
sums it up really well at the end. The bookkeeper's job is to make sure you know how many days you have left so that you can make the decision well. Cool.
Strongly agree. And look, we're not saying that you don't know how to run your business and you haven't done a good job. You've done a good job. You're still going.
Sure, right? Yeah, for sure.
You've been going 2 years. You've been going 5 years. You're not dead, mate. So you're already in the minority of successful kind of businesses thus far. But man, just adding that data to your already intuitive entrepreneurial and strategic decision-making capability, that will make you fly, mate.
I'm gonna give Polly a 30-second answer on her question. So Polly's question was, I'd love to know more about the pay yourself first concept. I get the theory, but would love some tips on how to do it to work in practice. Okay, so the theory is, from Rich Dad Poor Dad and Richest Man in Babylon, all this, always pay yourself 10% first. Now, if you're in the startup phase and your business is hemorrhaging money, you ain't paying yourself anyway. So just forget about it. If your business is going along well and you're earning a wage out of your business, then that's when you can start to take advantage of that. So it's a simple concept, really. It's just 10% of revenue goes aside. Now, I used to do this with my business, but we'd do it in we'd put it aside as a capital fund for the growth of the business. So 10% of our profit at the end of each month will go into But look, again, as I say, I don't want to get too strategic for that. If you're making money, look at that stuff. If you're still in that startup phase, focus on it. You need air, you need to breathe. So yeah, that's my bit.
Pay yourself first. Look, the other thing I'll say, because I totally agree with you, right? But the other thing is it's a concept, right? And you might physically actually move the money into a different bank account and pay yourself first,
Yep.
Polly.
Yep.
But what I think it is, it's like knowing that I'm going to pay myself, call it a number, I don't know, $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week, right? If I know that I'm going to pay myself that regardless, right? And then I've got to run the business, and then I've got to pay all the expenses, and then I've got to grow the business, right? And so I know I can't remember if it was Robert Kiyosaki or the other guy, but one of them used it as a motivator, right? So it's not actually necessarily physically moving the money, right? And you might do that, but what I'm saying is, can you see like, shit, I've taken $2,000 out. I've still got to pay all the expenses. I've still got to pay all the team. I've still got to pay the taxes, right? So it drove them to do more marketing, more sales, more business development, run a tighter business, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's one way you can use it as a motivator, right? And I'm not big on it personally. I think it's a bit irresponsible because people start bleeding the business, mate. And I've seen this happen. They killed a partnership, mate.
Build a profitable business first, right? Build a profitable business first.
That's generally where I come from, man. Yeah,
Love it. All right, we've gone way over time. So Biz Shiz update. Real quick, I'm gonna throw it out there. We had our first meeting for the trial squad last night for another trial squad, which went really awesome. Really cool to have some we had very industry guy in real estate, a lady who's in tech. We have a lady who's kind of in the VA space, and someone who's actually in a really cool business in gluten-free space. That's a huge market. Anyway, unfortunately, one of our members who was due to start last night pulled out. So there is space in that. If someone wants to get at us, there's space in that group starting not Monday coming, the one after. So hit us up. But other than that, that's what we're up to. Jong, you've had yours. How did yours go today? You had your mastermind today?
I just bloody love them, mate. I just think, shit, man, if you're a business owner and you want to grow your business, man, you need to jump into one of these things, man. It's just always awesome. It is business owners, real business owners, getting together, talking about real business. Like, that's just a good thing, man. But when if I bring in some more clarity around that, dude, we talk about your business and where you want it to go and then how you're going to get there. How's that a bad thing? Right? Whether it's an inch or a mile, Paul Walker, right? A win is a win. And that's what we get you wins all the time. Right? Yeah, no, you're not going to make $1 million, but man, we get you wins. So yeah, Biz Shiz update is trials are still going. Oh, I've got a spot. No, I think I've got one spot. Yeah, I've got one spot. So if someone wants to get in, you probably want to be rolling, I don't know, at least a couple $100,000 a year, so $20,000 a month to fit in well with this group and talk at the level of the conversation and the strategy and the tactics that we're talking about. Yeah, if you're rolling 20 grand a month, then hit me up.
Love it. All right. I had that one. And closing thoughts, bro? Any closing thoughts tonight? It's been a big one, man. It's 48 minutes. I appreciate the people that have hung on. We had a lot to jam on this topic, and obviously it's a popular topic. Still comments coming through now.
Wow. Yeah, right. But good topic, man. It's really important, man. Know your goddamn numbers. Numbers are everything. Everything you do in your business will land in the numbers because you play the game called business, and business is about numbers at the end of the day. Yeah, know your numbers.
Yeah, like I was going to echo that 100%. It's exactly what I said at the start. Humans speak in emotions, but business speaks in numbers, and there's a disconnect between our language. So make sure you learn that language.
Man, we should get you some pom poms. Hey, you're going to be the echo guy. J-U-N-G. Give me a J. You want to? Yeah. Did you just? Oh, thanks, bro.
I reckon we'll get you a crock pot too.
Oh, what the what? What is that? Crock pot. Like we? Oh, that's why I cook my stew.
You know that WAP song, because you're like a TikToker.
Feedy WAP. Yeah, I'm a
He knows it.
I'm a toxic dude, man. Yeah.
All right, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in again on a Tuesday night, and we look forward to bringing another topic next week. Hit us up if you've got any ideas or you want to talk about something. All right, see you.